All of you for being here today. Your participation in this hearing is appreciated as this committee continues its oversight of the difficult task each of your companies face, preserving an openness on your platforms while seeking to responsibly manage and thwart the actions of those who use your services to spread extremist and violent content. Last Congress, when we held a hearing looking at terrorist recruitment and propaganda online, we discussed the cross-sharing of information between Facebook, Microsoft, Twitter, and YouTube, which allowed each of those companies to identify potential extremism faster and more efficiently. So I would just direct this question and ask how effective has that shared database of hashes been?
Senator Thune, thank you for the question. Through the shared database, we now have more than 200,000 distinct hashes of terror propaganda. And that has allowed, I can speak for Facebook only, but that has allowed us at Facebook to remove a lot more than we otherwise would have been able to do.
I would just add, since that hearing, actually, I think the reassuring thing is that we don't just share hashes now. We've grown that partnership, so we share URLs. So if we see a link to a piece of content like a manifesto, we're able to share that across industry. And furthermore, I think an area that after Christchurch we recognize we need to improve, we now have real-time communications in a crisis. So industry can talk to each other in real time, operationally, to say, even not content related, but situational awareness. That partnership between industry now also involves law enforcement. That wasn't there when I think we had that hearing last, and so I think it's not just about the hash program, but broadening out new programs that are developing that work further.
Yeah, I think broadly, I would say look at how we have been improving over time. Surely systems are not perfect. We're always going to have to evolve to deal with bad actors, but I think on the whole we are doing a better and better job, in part because of this technology sharing, this information sharing, in removing this sort of content before it has wide exposure of any sort, before it is viewed widely.
Senator, I would only add that the threat environment that we are in today as a country has changed and evolved in the past 24 to 36 months. And likewise, the tactics and techniques that these platforms, as well as others, use to evolve the evolving nature of the terrorist landscape online, whether it be foreign or domestic, needs to keep pace with the threat environment that we are in today.
And so just as a follow-up, are there similar partnerships among your companies as well as the smaller platforms to specifically identify mass violence?
Senator, one of the things that we've done over time is expand the mandate of the Global Internet Forum to Counter Terrorism. So we relatively recently expanded to include mass violent incidents, and we are now sharing, both through our crisis incident protocol and our hash sharing, we are sharing a broader variety of violent incidents.
Okay. Mr. Slater, YouTube's, I should say, automated recommendation system has come under criticism for potentially steering users toward increasingly violent content. And earlier this year, I led a subcommittee hearing examining the use of persuasive technologies on Internet platforms, algorithm transparency, and algorithmic content selection. I asked the witness that Google provided at that time for that hearing several specific questions for the record about YouTube that were not thoroughly answered, and I would just say that providing complete answers to questions members submit for the record is essential as we look to work together as partners to combat many of the issues discussed here today. So I'd like your commitment to provide thorough responses to any questions you might get for the record. Do I have that?
Certainly, Senator, to the best of our ability.
Okay. Additionally, I'd like to just explore the nexus between persuasive technologies and today's topic. Specifically, what percentage of YouTube video views are the result of YouTube automatically suggesting or playing another video after the user finishes watching a video?
Senator, I don't have a specific statistic there, but I can say the purpose of our Watch Next, our recommendation system, is to show people videos that they may like that are similar to what they've watched before. At the same time, we do recognize this concern about recommendations for borderline content, that is content that maybe isn't removed but brushes right up against those lines. And we have introduced changes this year to reduce recommendations for those sorts of borderline videos.
Okay. Well, if you could get the number, I assume you have that somewhere, that's got to be available and furnish it for the record. But so the question again is to ask you specifically, what is YouTube doing to address the risk that some of these features, which you, as you note, are pointing a user in the direction of increasingly violent content?
Yes, that change we made in January to reduce recommendations has been key. It's still early days, but it's working well. We have reduced the views from those recommendations for that borderline content by 50% just since January. As those systems get better, we hope that will improve, and happy to discuss it further.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Thune. Based on presence at the gavel,